It is day 101 of the second Trump administration, and I want you to keep that in mind. 101, because no matter what the president says, he has been the man running the country for the last 3+ months. Well, today the Commerce Department reported that the U.S. economy actually shrank by 0.3% in the first quarter of this year. The president immediately hopped on social media, and can you guess? Can you guess who he blamed? Joe Biden. The president insisted that this is Biden's stock market because Trump took office on January 20th. He also said it will take a while to turn things around and that the struggles have nothing to do with tariffs. Look, it is never, ever good to see the economy shrink. It has not happened like this since 2022. But I want to take you through some of the details in this report because we need to understand it. Remember, this was before Trump announced the massive tariffs on Liberation Day, but it does include when he announced new tariffs on our closest allies, Mexico and Canada. And the biggest factor was a huge surge in imports. Companies that actually had the money were loading up on inventory before the big tariffs were hitting. Now, you would say, why would it make the economy look like it's shrinking? Well, it is because imports are subtracted from gross domestic product calculations. That is not an opinion. It's just how it works. I want you to look at this chart. The contraction did not have to happen. Our economy was humming along with more than 2% growth in the fourth quarter of 2024, Biden's last full quarter in office, and then boom, the tariffs came. So the only thing to point to when it comes to the shrinking economy is the trade war. And as the saying goes, if you break it, you buy it, and Donald John Trump owns this economy. Let's bring in our nightcap. Peter Baker is here, chief White House correspondent for The New York Times. Susan Glasser, staff writer for The New Yorker. And Reed Galen, he's worked on a number of GOP campaigns. He's now the president of the JoinTheUnion.us and host of the Homefront podcast. And Justin Wolfer joins us, a professor of economics and public policy at the University of Michigan. Justin, let's start with you. What stuck out to you on this report?
Mate, I just love the fact that you want to begin by going line by line through the national income and product accounts, because I don't know anyone else who will.
It's so true. So true.
I want to actually disappoint our Liberal viewers. I don't want to carry on and say that this was proof that the economy's in bad shape. In fact, we have a lot of other data that's much more reliable and better suited for a moment like this. Things like the employment report that suggests that the economy was growing through the first quarter, the underlying stuff going on. The problem is, and this is the thing you pointed to, when tariffs are coming, people buy stuff in advance. And that then means the amount of stuff we're buying is very different than the amount of stuff we're producing. And a lot of our economic statistics work as if one was a signal of the other, but they're not right now. And so what that's going to do is, I don't want to get too much into how the GDP sausage is made, but that creates a number of statistical artifacts that could bore even you, Steph. But it does mean we're all going to have to be very careful over the next few months as we watch the economy. All of this said, what we were learning about today with this GDP report was the first 3 months of the year. You and I all heard the economy crack. When did it crack? April 2nd. None of this speaks to the day when he took a baseball bat to the global economy.
I want to talk about that because even if the president said, listen, he wouldn't call it a baseball bat. But, Peter, even if the president said what I am looking to do is transform our economy, our industrial complex, I need you to be patient. It'll take some time. If that's all he said, there's a lot of people in this country who would say, have at it. Yeah. But to blame Joe Biden is so intellectually dishonest. Yeah. Any serious person knows what a foolish and insincere statement that you're hearing out of the president, from the president and other people in the White House. Don't they lose an enormous amount of credibility?
Well, it's wholly predictable, right? Because remember, when he was talking about the stock market going up, even before he took office, he took credit for that. Right,
right after the election, he said, it's because people are so excited that I won.
I'm coming in. Yes. In fact, even a year ago. A year ago.
Yes.
He said, look at this market's going up because my poll numbers are well. People think I'm coming back.
When
and that's
Jay
why
Powell
they're excited.
cut rates,
exactly.
It wasn't because rates were going up. It's because people were excited
about him. But now it's all because of Biden, of course. And look, you showed that chart. What's the one thing, macro factor that has changed between, growth, no growth? Well, of course, it's Donald Trump coming in and taking the baseball bat or whatever instrument you want to say he took to the economy.
Okay, just back to intellectual honesty. I'm going to get to you. But, Justin, I want to come back because Scott Bessent was on TV saying what they are looking to do is bring
Steph, can I stop you?
quality.
You just were talking about the president. You said, I want to come back to intellectual honesty. This could be a short segment.
Okay, fine. Scott Bessent, a smart guy who we're seeing day in and day out say things that he knows are not true. Okay?
Yeah.
He was talking about bringing back high-quality industrial jobs of the future, not the past. If we were looking to bring industrial jobs of the future, then we would be exempting apparel. Instead, all of these apparel companies are now in this terrible situation. And what are we going to do? Try to bring sweatshops back? Is big coal the future? What are they talking about when they say we're bringing the industrial jobs of the future?
Well, first of all, I don't think they are. The thing to realise is right now, any factory around the world can buy whatever equipment it needs to get geared up to be competitive without a 145% surcharge. Any factory in the world, except one in the United States. Realise that one of the biggest imports that we get from China is equipment, industrial equipment. And right there, the president has made American factories less competitive around the world. Look, there's a million ways you could design tariffs, but you have to start by thinking, what the heck is it we want to do? If you want to onshore manufacturing, you don't put tariffs on bananas. If it's about national security, you don't put tariffs on leather saddles. If it's about getting the Chinese, you don't clobber the Aussies. Like, what are we trying to do?
Listen, if you want to build domestic industrial factories for advanced robotics, you got something called the CHIPS Act and friendshoring. I want to share a bit, Reed, of what the president said about this GDP report in his cabinet meeting today, because you are a political strategist, and I'd love to know the strategy behind this. Watch.
That's Biden. That's not Trump, because we came in on January, this is the quarterly numbers, and we came in and I was very against everything that Biden was doing in terms of the economy. We took over on January 20th. These are quarterly reports. We took over on January 20th. The tariffs haven't kicked in yet. I'm not taking credit or discredit for the stock market. I'm just saying that we inherited a mess. This is Biden, and you could even say the next quarter is sort of Biden, because it doesn't just happen on a daily or an hourly basis.
He's not taking credit or discredit. He knows he's got a problem here, huh?
I don't know that he does.
Really?
I don't give him credit for anything. I think this is like dealing with a teenager. Like, there's a lot of things going on. Rationality is nowhere in that room. Nowhere. He's got, did you see the tats? Make America Great Again,
yes.
Gulf of America?
Yes.
Like, do we think any of this is normal? When are we going to break out of the idea that this is ever going to be okay? That any of this is ever going to be like anything we've ever seen. This guy's poll numbers are in the tank. He doesn't care. He's got he's got Scott Bessent. It's third time tonight I've heard, oh, he's a reasonable guy. He's a guy who knows what he's doing. Really? Do you think he really does, or does he care? Do these people care? I mean, look, 45 ships turned around at the Port of L.A. today. That's going to crush longshoremen. That's going to crush really good, high-paying union jobs in this country, and it's only going to start there.
Listen, if we're talking about union jobs, there's people who work in union workers who work in the auto industry have profit sharing. If the profits of auto companies go down, those people get hurt too. So it's hurting everyone. And it's because you were at an event tonight with a bunch of people from finance who have either known or worked with Scott Bessent for 30 years. And they know how skilled and competent he is. What no one can answer is why he's coming on television and saying things day in and day out that he knows aren't true.
You know what? Let me just say this. As we all know, there are about 8 people. Well, in a normal White House, there are about 8 people who can walk in whenever they feel like to the Oval Office. Scott Bessent is currently one of those people.
Yes.
He wants to remain one of those people. And if that means he has to sell his soul like so many of the rest of these people have, and they've sold them on the cheap, that's what he'll do.